Welcome back to the Shared Diary. This is the space where the private becomes public and the stories we usually keep to ourselves finally find a home. I'm Lori.
I'm Debbie. And I'm Nicole.
We are three women with no secrets, just life. Because life is always better when the diary is open. So grab a seat, lean in, and let's get into today's entry. Well, hello, everyone. It's Debbie, Nicole, and I'm Lori, and I am so excited for this week. In fact, I just went live in my Facebook group and invited anyone who wants to tune in to please come and join the conversation, because we like to call this the Shared Diary because it is three women. We're having these amazing conversations, but we want to invite you who are listening and watching into the comments to journey along with us and share your diary. And sometimes we share deeply personal things, totally up to you if you do or not. And sometimes we have a lot of laughs, which is so much fun. We did last week. You have to go back and watch last week to know what we're talking about. But it's so fun. And like I always say, this is kind of a podcast that I don't know is happening anywhere else. We're going live every single week. We're very, very consistent. We're inviting you in the comments to have this conversation with us. Give us your thoughts. Share your diaries, share your questions, and we can just figure it out together. By the end of the hour, we usually have some really big aha moments. So I'm super excited for this topic because this is really, it's a struggle for me sometimes. And the question is, what would I do if I knew nobody would judge me? And how many of us have thought that? Or mostly the question is, what I shouldn't do this because people are going to judge me, right? So it's like, well, I don't want to do that. People might judge me. But what if there was just this understanding that no one's ever going to judge you about anything you do? What would you do, right? Hello, Lonnie. Thank you for joining us. Lonnie was in the network just this week. I got to interview her, and so much fun. But I'm super excited to hear from Debbie and Nicole. When you think of this topic, what do you think of? What are you excited about to open this kind of Pandora's box?
Wow, Pandora's box. Now that's a little frightening in itself. You know what, Lori, I'm going to call you out. I need you to read the diary entry. It just feels so good when you always do that it sets the tone. So let's do that first.
Sure. Happy to do that. This is so fun. Okay. This is a pretend diary entry, and just so pretend, like visualize that it's you saying this and writing this in your diary and see what comes up for you. So fun to do this. So, dear diary, I caught myself holding back again today. And the funny thing is, I was excited at first. I saw someone doing something online and thought, that looks fun. I want to do that. I could picture myself doing it. I was actually excited about it and I was going to do it. And then almost immediately, I started thinking about everyone else. What would people think? What would they think? I was trying too hard? Would they think I was being ridiculous? Would my friends think, what's she doing? Would people in my business still take me seriously? And just like that, something I was very excited about didn't feel fun anymore. I started second guessing, and I realized I do this more than I want to admit. I'll get excited about an idea and then worry about how it'll look. I'll want to say something and then soften it. I'll want to show more of myself and then wonder if it's too much. I'll want to do something completely outside of what people expect from me and immediately start imagining what everyone might say. And sometimes nobody has actually said anything. I'm imagining their judgment before it even happened. Why do I do that? So what do you guys feel when you hear that? I would love to know, have you ever felt that way?
I mean, you could have been speaking my words, like really honestly. And they also, as I was reflecting, and some of the, almost triggered, like, oh yeah, that hurts. That feels, I can remember that. Then I flipped it and thought about my clients and the people that I serve. And I'm so much more compassionate when I hear them have those thoughts than when I hear myself have those thoughts. Yeah. So isn't this an interesting conversation? Yeah. What about you, Nicole?
Yeah, I love what you just said. We're so much more compassionate when people around us have those thoughts. We're like, no, you should not think that. Don't even like we love you. Go do your thing. But when it comes to our own thoughts within our mind, we can get so in our head. And I might share this later on, but I had a challenge that I did for myself back a few years ago, and it was to get myself out there on online, and it was one of my biggest challenges I ever did. And I remember when I first did it, I was like, everything you just said there, Lori, was completely in my head. I was like, what are they going to think? What is everybody going to say? Even my own family, like, oh my gosh, like I just like I'll share more about that later. But that was like what you were just saying in there. I could feel it all coming back. And it's almost like I could feel the the butterflies and the anxiety. So yeah, I have felt this so much. And when you were reading that, it's like my life too. I like, oh my gosh, how many of us have felt that? What about you, Lori? When you were reading the diary, how did it feel? Like the diary entry, how did it feel?
Yeah, I definitely resonated with it. In fact, I've done this time and time again, and I didn't think about this too much before I started an online business, because I was just like, social media was pretty normal to me. I didn't really put myself out there in any way. I didn't feel the tug to really like share my heart or anything. It was more about just, here's a picture of our family. Here's what we did. Here's what I ate, right? And so when I started my online business, I really battled with this a lot. And at first, I felt like I had to have everything together and I had a script in front of me and, those kind of things. And as I got more and more comfortable, even this week, a couple of days ago, I was on a walk with my dog and I didn't have a stitch of makeup on, and I was just out walking and I just felt very grateful. And I thought, well, you know what? I'm gonna say something about this and post it online. It might encourage someone to feel grateful for their day. So I got on and like no makeup, carrying my cup of coffee, my dog yanking on the on the leash. And it felt really good. It felt really good. So I can see, I know, I remember the times, and not that I don't ever struggle, because I still struggle. I remember the times where I stopped myself, and I remember the times where I didn't stop myself. And I will have to say it's never as scary, and you don't ever feel the way you think you're going to feel when you do put yourself out there.
Hmm, so true.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that really, really resonated with me, because I think I just kind of did something a little bit on the lines of just not caring, not caring. Well, and I think the opening question is super, super interesting too, because it allows us to really think about something. So it's finish this sentence in the comments. So maybe if you're watching and you're listening, you can finish this sentence. If I knew nobody would judge me, I would fill in the blank. So what about you, Debbie? What would you do if you knew nobody would judge you?
I would share more of the behind the scenes. I would share more of the all the messes and the what it actually takes, that I'm just an ordinary human being. If I didn't
Mm,
feel like that might bring up some criticism and judgment.
mm, mm,
Oh, so good. So
mm.
good. Because I was just thinking when you said that, I'm like, I want to see behind the scenes. I'm like, can you do that, please? Because I want to see it. Because I think that's where like you can relate to people. It's behind the scenes, because that is actually the most where we're being the most us. I think is often behind the scenes. And that question for me too, I think I would share more of my everyday. I would share more of my everyday. Like I was even thinking like when I was making the smoothie and the amount of ingredients that I put in that smoothie now, because as I'm aging, I keep adding more supplements. But I'm like, like some of these things, I'm like, oh, yes, I would absolutely share more of my life.
Mm.
Although sometimes I'm like, but they might think it's so boring. It's so boring, right? Like sometimes I go in my head of like all the things, like really. But that's something I would do too, Debbie. I think it's that behind the scenes. Like think about all the reality shows that people follow and love because it's like reality, it's like behind the scenes, right? And so that would, if there was no judgment, I'd be like, okay, here I am, here it is. What about for you, Lori?
Well, I was just reading the comments, and I am loving what everyone is kind of bringing to the table. Lonnie says, "I did that in 2024. I challenged myself to connect and be on at least one podcast a month. And once I got past the first couple of podcasts, I started to feel more comfortable and courageous. I accomplished that goal of 12 podcasts in 9 months. So we're all giving you high fives here, Lonnie. Congratulations. And it is a risk. It is a risk to show up on camera and to answer questions about your life and not know where the conversation is going to go. And so congratulations. And Lonnie, I was just bragging on you. I don't know if you were tuned in yet, but you were just on the Be Awesome Network and you did awesome, girl. You did awesome. You can tell you've been practicing. And then Martha Rice says, I would get on camera showing my whole body. Wow, I love that because, sometimes we do have these limitations on ourselves. And we were just talking about that with me not wearing makeup on a quick little morning walk. Well, sometimes all we see is, from the shoulders up. So Martha, I am going to hold you to that. Get on camera, show your whole body. You have a beautiful body. I just saw a post of you and your husband dancing for your anniversary. And it was beautiful. And I love your dress, by the way. But yeah, so we have these things that we struggle with and the things that we overcome. And I love it. I love it. Yes, Craig. Wowza, he says, be enthusiastic. Love it. Love it. Well, for me, I can't even remember what the question is. But what would I do? I'm kind of, if you know me very well, I'm a little bit silly. I like to laugh. I come across these hilarious Instagrams all the time where like one of them was a lady and her husband is commentating and she's pretending like she's in the Olympics, she does like a synchronized swimming routine and she like holds her nose and she's like, and he's back in the back and he has that really calm voice like, well, that was very interesting. I have never seen that before. And I literally in my mind envision myself doing stuff like that. I've never done anything silly like that. So I think, I don't know what's stopping me, but it's just, I don't really feel like it goes with everything else I put out there, but I think it would be hilarious and so much fun. So I think that kind of stuff is, whatever you haven't done, whatever that, it doesn't have to be silly. Maybe it's serious. Maybe it's sharing your story, the hurt that you felt over life and how you healed through that. Those stories can be so impactful, but if you keep them inside, no one's going to hear them. So I think for me, the silliness would be a fun thing to try, just to challenge myself, because, if you think about it, you can really get into your head about like, what are people going to think? If I show up that way.
Well, I think it goes back to what we've talked about in other episodes as well, and even our Ignite call that we're doing, is that we have to really love and appreciate all parts of ourselves. And so if your humor is a part of yourself, God, I want to know it, Lori. I want to know you, all of you. And so whether you're silly or whether you're cussing swear words in the background, I don't care, because I want to know that part of you. It's natural. And then and Nicole and I were talking about sharing the behind the scenes, when she said reality show, did you see my eyes? Because I hate reality shows. I'm like, oh, yuck. It just feels like everybody's like posting all of their crap. And so that probably was a big breakthrough to me, is because I thought that's what that would mean. And then you said something about, oh, what if people are bored? No one's going to watch it if they're bored. They're just going to flip through. So why are we so worried about being judged? Because you guys should see me in my farmer get up some days. Like it's not no makeup. It's probably like cow poop running down my face and a kid in this arm and a whatever in the other. So maybe I need to show more of that parts of myself as well, so people get to know me and why I'm passionate about what I do a little bit more. So I'm calling myself out. If you guys want to commit here online on the podcast, we'll hold you accountable as well.
Yes, yes. I want to see the cow poop and see all the things. I really do. But I was like at the beginning, I was talking about when I challenged myself. So when I was turning 50, I saw this incredible woman. And I want to share her name right now, and it's just slipped my mind. But she did 50 dances till she turned 50 online. She did 50 dances until she turned 50. So I was like, oh my gosh! And she was in the UK, and I loved her. Like every day she made me happy, and I wanted to dance with her. So then I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. So I did it for 50 days. I did a new dance every day. And I took it from the year I was born, like the songs from the year I was born, all the way to the time of my birthday. And I invited guests to come dance with me. So people would come and people were messaging me and being like, can I be in your next dance? Can I do your... But the very first time I did the dance, I remember it was to Tina Turner. And I remember putting my costume on. And I went and did it by myself, and I was like doing the whole thing, and I couldn't even breathe after. I was like, I don't know what I just did, and I'm out there doing this whole dance. But it was so much fun. Like it started things with everybody else. And then what was incredible, on the 50th day at my lake, they made a huge party and we all danced together on the lawn. There was probably 50 of us. We choreographed this dance and we all did it. And it was all women from all generations did it with us. And my kids were in it. It was like my favorite thing that I did for 50 days in a row. And it really brought so many people together. So it was so scary, yet it turned out to be one of my most favorite things I've ever done. Favorite things. So.
Wow, that sounds so much fun. Gina says, love it, Nicole. And I mean, just think about, where it came from. It came from an inspiration. Obviously, there was something in there inside of you that wanted to do this. And then, so you took the inspiration and you made it a reality and you actually took the action. And then you got results. You got some really fun results. Not only memories for you, but memories for other people, encouragement. I'm sure there were people who might have felt discouraged that day and they come across your dance and then all of a sudden they're encouraged and they're laughing and then they're like, I want to do that. And so talk about ripple effect, right? Debbie, you always talk about ripple effect. I love that. I think it's a perfect example of being a little bit nervous to do something funny and fun, but then actually just doing it. And then the more you do it, the more momentum that picks up. And then to have a crescendo of everyone doing one single dance, like I'm imagining like a flash mob, where they have those people that are just walking down the streets of New York and one person starts to dance and then the next person, and then everyone you're like, oh my gosh, this was totally planned out, but I had no clue.
Well, and when you talk about the ripple effect, like when she's talking about that, I am like, wow, connection. We just got more connected to her and her passion and her message and why it matters to her. That energy is magnetic. So she started meeting new people and other people got permission to do it too. Maybe it was a secret wish for them for a long time. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was something they just grab the energy and go. But this is really what I have always believed in, is that one heart-centered entrepreneur can change the world. Now, Nicole didn't go out there going, here's my plan to get more people into my program or anything else. She just said, I have been affected by this woman who's done it. I'm going to do it too and see where it goes. And really, I think the title that we're talking about here is that. How do you take a desire, like when you're fully aligned to yourself and you're able to hear those, divine downloads, those drop-ins that go, you should do that too. it might be for a reason you don't even know. And think about the ripple effect. I bet we could go back to people that were part of Nicole's whole challenge, those 50 days. And I bet we could hear some huge, I get chills as I say that, some huge awareness and permission and ripple that they're now talking about as well.
Yeah, you know what was so amazing actually when that happened. So I had some women come dance with me that have never done this before, like out in front of people and going on Instagram and Facebook, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm doing this for the very first time." And it was so fun. It was so much fun to watch them live through it. And then we would get comments going, "What's your dance for tomorrow? I can't wait." And we're like, "We don't want you to turn 50 because we don't want it to stop." Because it was like, what's our new dance? Because like Kenzie, my daughter, and I, we did one to Milli Vanilli, and we were both Milli Vanilli as we were doing it. It was like, it was so much fun. Like it was just one of those times where I was so scared to do it, and every single day I had to kind of take a deep breath, because some of the videos you're like, oh my gosh, because some of them were super silly too, right? I was a Spice Girl in one of them, like it was all the different things, right? But it was so much fun because it brought people together, and I actually didn't even know that was going to be the case. I was just trying to challenge myself, and that other woman in the UK, which I wish I could remember her name, Me More TV is her like Instagram, Me More, and I just love her. She's just got this amazing amazing energy, but she made me so happy that I was like, okay, I got to do this too. And so it was and that's like, people's bravery is what helps us all shine. I think it's the thing that we help each other move through it. So yeah, thank you, Debbie, for reflecting back on that.
I love it. I love it. It's been so fun. And I'm watching the comments. Lonnie says, here's an Instagram link for laughs, the.language.nerds, especially with 3 men in my life who are dads and have bad dad jokes. So just for all those men out there, there's some funny stuff out there. Dad jokes are some of the funny things. Craig says, we're blessed to be able to celebrate having a platform to share our experiences and our knowledge and our voice. So true. So true. Thank you guys so much for participating in this conversation. Keep it going. I love it. And Gina asks, do you still have the videos of your dances, Nicole?
Yeah, they're still on my Instagram. They are like, and even in Facebook. So if you go down quite far, they're all there. So yes, they're there. They're there. Mm-hmm.
I love it. Well, we need to maybe do a compilation. Maybe someone who's listening or some assistant somewhere will be like, I want that footage. I'm going to do a Nicole compilation, and and then we should all learn the dance and then come prepared one day just to come do the dance together. I love it.
Oh, so
wow,
fun.
it's so fun. And thank you, Martha. Martha says, great conversation. It truly is. And this all just birthed out of the question, who would you be if you knew no one would judge you? And so we're kind of in our own ways, kind of revealing who we are, because right now, the three of us being in this room together, so to speak, we're giving each other courage to share who we are and what we would do, and who would we be. So I love that. I love that so much. And I'm going to go into the next question. The anchor quote for today, by the way, is sometimes nobody's actually judging us. We're already judging ourselves for them. Boom. That one hurts. But the next question is, where in your life do you feel the most free to be completely yourself? Just really think about that. Where in your life do you feel the most free to be complete yourself? And where do you notice yourself editing who you are? So those are two opposites. Where do you feel completely free? Where do you feel like you're editing yourself? How about you, Debbie?
Yeah, so this is a really deep question, and one that I want you guys to really take the time, maybe not here, but really go back and reflect on this question, because it's kind of the formula to everything we're talking about. And I realize that the most free I am is to be me is with my grandkids, because I can be silly, I can play, I don't have to, put on airs. In fact, the kids will call you out on that if you are. That's definitely my most free. And then I also recognize that the place where I struggle is where people don't understand me. So maybe in the business world where I'm doing the things that I do here online, I am very me because you know me as a certain person. But then maybe going back to like high school graduation friends that don't know that person and they wonder what are you even doing? Small town feel, it feels like I kind of hide or become invisible. I'm not sure who I should show up as.
Wow. Oh my gosh. As you were saying, so the first one we were talking about the kids, I was thinking about what's beautiful about children is they don't have enough stories about what is right or wrong or any of those things, right? They just go with their intuition and their feelings and their joy, and children just don't have that, right? So they're very accepting of each other, of life, of like look at the way they make believe and they do things. They have no like they just because they haven't been told enough that you can't do this or you can't do that or you shouldn't be this. And so isn't that beautiful, Debbie, that like when you're with them, that is a place that you could feel 100% you. I love that because I feel like for me too, I feel the most free actually around my kids. And I've talked last week about that. And I just do, or people who have known me, I think a lot of times it's my dance friends too, because I was
Oh,
probably my most like literally my most like wacky like out there self with them because we had to be like we'd have to take on characters on stage and we'd have to do the like and we'd have so many mishaps and things where we're like laughing so hard in the back and like we just so many things and then we'd have times where we really bombed at something like so bad, right? And so we'd have tears and so I think they really got to see so
awesome.
much of me, like so much of me. And they still do get to see so much of me. And I'm totally like sometimes I feel like what you were just saying, Debbie, like sometimes in my business, I go back and forth about how serious to be because some of the topics are serious. Some of the things we talk about are really quite serious, right, in our life. But there's a part of me that is like so like joke like loves to joke and have so much fun, so I really sometimes debate on that. And I was even thinking about these dances, like I used to think about like when I dance, does that take away from the seriousness of what I am like talking about sometimes? And I'm like, oh, I get sometimes like parts of me right, there's parts of me that do one thing and parts of me that do something else. And so coming back to where I feel most free for sure with people who've known me in the dance world and my kids for sure. And then again, where I edit myself at times is like probably within my business. And I would love not to do that as much actually. I would love to actually have more of me shine through there with because it is me. It is me. Like, and so I have to get more into that acceptance of like that is me. And the right people will resonate and the ones that don't, that's okay too. So yeah, thank you for pointing that all out, Debbie. And I could feel the high school thing too, because I felt that too. Because I was one person kind of in high school and then where I've expanded and grown. And then to go back to that, it's an interesting path back. So thank you for sharing that too. That's taking me on so many reflections.
Yeah, can I just before Lori jumps in, just say that also when you witness your children or your grandchildren kind of hide a piece of themselves because they are fearful because somebody was mean, or they're just in that learning stage, it hits you like a brick. And so again, it's very aware for me is like what I desire for myself is being reflected through them. And so maybe I can go back and see where I started to change and hide pieces of myself, and then how can I support that inner child work at the same time as I'm really supporting the human beings, the little children right in front of me, to really love
Mhm.
and accept themselves.
Yeah. Thank you.
So important. It makes me think of, when I ask myself that question, there's so many situations where I can look back and say I was an observer in the room, and I would shut my mouth and just kind of gauge who everyone was and how I should behave and what I should say and what I shouldn't say. And I can really remember in my own mind being that way. And that's when I would be hiding, right? And like, do I fit? Do I fit? Instead of just walking in and knowing that I'm going to fit somewhere, right? So I think it's super important to remember that. And the thing about the children was so ahaing for me too, because for me, my journey here to Florida, when I got here 2 years ago to just explore, I didn't have transportation and I just had a scooter, and the scooter that you stand on, and so I had a backpack and a scooter, and I would just go around town, go to the beach, go to coffee shops. I had my laptop in my backpack, my lunch packed, my swimsuit, a little towel. I mean, everything I needed was in my backpack. And I started to really feel that kid-like energy of I can go anywhere, I can do anything. And then on top of that, the wind was in my hair and I was smelling the smells, and I at one point I remember kind of feeling sorry for people in cars because I was at the top of a bridge that was a beautiful bridge. It's here in Sarasota. It goes over to the ocean, and it goes over the ocean. It's in the bay. And there were boats going under, and I had just stopped for some reason. I just looked over and I was like, I am so incredibly lucky that I get to be on this scooter and I get to see all of this, and I get to feel the temperature and the wind. And then these cars are going over the bridge like, and I'm like, they're missing it. They're missing it. And so revisiting that part of me really kind of lit a fire under me. And I started showing up online and doing more videos of me in the scooter and me in the backpack, and talking to my network in that way. And even though I'm not doing that anymore, I still feel a little bit like that with when I get on my bike, right? And so there's just that joy that when you feel that joy and when you get that inspiration, I think it's very important not to doubt yourself, because sometimes it's fear, sometimes it's doubt, but when you get that inspiration that you want to share something, share it. It's like, if you think of something good, say it. If you think you want to do something good, do it immediately. Don't have any hesitation, or you'll forget, you'll move on, and the moment is lost.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important to pull ourselves out of that. And that leads me to the next question, which I think is so, so important. It is, before I do that though, I want to just address some of these comments. Martha, thank you. Free to be me with my family and friends, and I edit on social media because I don't want to be misunderstood. Totally get it. Totally get it. It's that, right? It's that I should show up this way because this is my business. When in reality, like Nicole said, we want to know you as a business owner. We don't want to know the plastic you, the fake you, the perfect you, right? Lonnie says, with the friends who have shared both the laughter and the tears of life. So true. Making those friends, making those connections, so important. And then Gina says she has to leave. She's loved listening, but she's walking Willie. She'll have to watch the replay. We'll see you later, Gina. Thank you. But yeah, so this is an important segue, because I think this will really help us all in our own minds. So the question is, have you ever judged someone else for doing the very thing you wish you were brave enough to do yourself?
Well, two things came instantly to mind, and it was like composing thoughts, like, whoa, because there is times where I have been needing a healing, but maybe I was hiding that I needed this healing on this certain piece of my life so that I could shine a little brighter. And so I may have made up a story, a protective story that said, like the reality TV show, right? Made up a story. I don't like reality TVs because, but maybe the truth was, that I was scared to actually let somebody see what my reality life looked like. And so it's just an example of, have I ever judged? I think fear puts judgment into your mind. And sometimes it comes out, you shouldn't do that. And other times it comes out as the truth of like, oh, I'm scared for you. Like you should be cautious about doing that. But both are the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And then the other part of it is I can judge with fear and still be very envious that and be kind of filled with hope and possibility that maybe if it's okay and safe for them to do it, maybe it's okay for me to do it too. So there's again, it's a big conversation. But yeah, I've definitely had both. And sometimes like just now, just like, whoa, that's scary. And I want it, right? That can be the a feeling that you recognized as almost the gas and the brake on at the same time. It can trigger your nervous system, but also if you're healing, it can just trigger an excitement, just a let's do it. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, maybe not, maybe I shouldn't. So again, isn't that interesting? Because we brought that up in the Ignite call just on Wednesdays. So
Yeah. I totally relate to everything you were just saying, Debbie. And when you were asking that question, Lori, like right away, I went to some shame on this because I was like, oh, I have judged on there on like somebody doing something that was like big, like it was big and it was shiny and it was like, holy cow, like whatever it was something that they were really showing all of themselves. They were very brave, like they were going and doing that. And sometimes my envious part, like Debbie was talking about, I would be like, I would love to do that, but no, like you would start to make up stories. Well, that's just ridiculous, or this is showing this, but it's really actually, I would like, it's my inside is if I'm judging like that, it's usually because my fear is saying I can't do that, but they can, and I would really like to. And so I find that so interesting, this question, because what is done, and I've become very aware when I do this. So now what I'm doing is when I see somebody doing something so brave on Instagram or wherever it is on Facebook, whatever it is that they're doing, I'm celebrating them. I'm like, way to go, because the more I do the things that are really scary and I put myself out there, the more empathy I have and understanding of what it took for them to do that. Like it takes a lot of courage. And so I just want to keep like celebrating people more and more. And as I see it in them and celebrate in them, I feel like, okay, it's possible for me too. I really do. And more importantly, I'm just really proud of them for being able to go and put themselves out there. Like I'm like, this is how we grow. This is how we do the things. So I've definitely been on the other side, judge. And then I'm like, that doesn't feel good. It actually doesn't feel good. It really doesn't. And because I know underneath it, it's like, I wish I could, or like, must be nice to be able to do that. And so I'm really trying to flip that around. And when I flip it around, being like, way to go, amazing, it gives me more like, okay, I can try something too. And it just feels like I'm actually on their side. I'm on their side because I think we need more people on people's side, trying to be brave and putting things out there, because this is how the world does change. So great question, Lori, on there. I was just like, oh, wow, that touched a lot in me.
Yeah, it does. It did. When I saw it, or when I read it, I was like, have I ever judged someone else for doing the very same thing I wish I was brave enough to do myself? And I struggled to find a specific time. I know I've done it. I struggled to find a specific time, and I think I'm glad for that, because I think there's been some growth in me.
right.
Because I think I did a lot of that earlier in my life, and launching the Be Awesome Network and talking to everyone around the world and experiencing different belief systems, different ways of doing things, and different lifestyles and different countries, and all of that has really expanded my mind. And I was kind of in a little I would say, a little bubble before. I was taught, to be modest, to be quiet, as a girl, as a woman, to be supportive of your husband and all the things. And so in my mind, I think I was very judgy because I was holding up standards that someone told me I should be like. So then I thought, well, then everyone should be like this. So I'd see someone who wasn't like that and I would immediately judge. And so I think I've seen a lot of growth. And I will say just one thing that I've done that I judged other people for doing has been showing my yoga moves and workouts. Sometimes I'll film myself doing my yoga and I'll speed it up. And I used to think that was, just braggadocious of, well, look at me, right? Or showing my body, right? It was like, oh, but don't do that because you should be wearing you should be wearing a turtleneck, right? Um, you should be modest. And so I think just shedding that and sharing that has been a lot of, it's been a journey for me, but I get comments and messages that say that inspires me because usually almost always I'll put a little bit of a post about what I learned through the process of showing up anyway, right? Or my body felt like crap today, but I went because I know I'm going to feel better afterwards, and talking about habits and those kind of things. So, yeah, I can definitely see myself in all of that, but I'm celebrating, I guess, now because I don't think I've done it in a while, which is it makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I would love to hear from everyone who's listening and watching. Can you think of a time that you judged someone else for doing the very thing that you wish you were brave enough to do yourself? And then why were you judging? Was it jealousy and envy and being envious? Was it fear? What was it? Right? Just think about it so that we can all learn together and grow and change and show up differently, right? All right, we're moving into our quick fire questions. This is the no judgment zone. So we're going to answer fast and just whatever comes to the top of your mind you answer. And the rules are there are no rules, but because we always like sometimes, well, I think both. But here's the first question. Which makes you more self-conscious, being overdressed or being underdressed?
Pooh, just just wrongly dressed. Like see, did you hear the answer? Wrong. So if I go to a party and they're all overdressed and I'm underdressed, I feel weird, and the opposite. So I would love to be the person that felt so good in what I've chosen that it wouldn't matter what room I walked into. This was the outfit that I wanted. So yes, great question. But yeah, when
Yeah.
I don't feel like I fit the other people.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true. How about you, Nicole?
You know what? I've always felt like I would rather be overdressed than underdressed. And so that's always been my thing no matter what. Like just, oh well, if I'm overdressed, at least like I'm overdressed. It's the underdressed lots of times that I get really like, oh shoot. Oh, I didn't understand the invitation. I didn't get the invitation properly or whatever it is. So I think for me, and I worked myself into that a little bit. Like I love to get dressed up. I actually love getting dressed up. I love wearing things that make me feel good and all of those things. And I even like with the kids, I used to always say, when it was special occasion, like if it was Christmas or if it was Thanksgiving, or I loved for us to like put on some nice things and just like, honor that time together. And that was kind of I grew up in a retail store. Our family had a retail business. So I grew up buying clothes and like as a buyer, but also as like in the industry. And we used to have like my dad would have every spring we would have all these dresses come in for Easter for church and for people to celebrate Easter. It was a really big thing years and years ago. And so I think it got in my head about like dressing up for certain circumstance or certain celebrations and certain times of year. So for me, yes, I made this a little bit longer, but for me, I'm more on the overdressed for sure. Underdressed is when I'm like, you know.
I love it. I love it. Well, and isn't that interesting that we're jumping into the judgment, right? The reason why we're not comfortable with one or the other is because of the judgment that we fear, you know? Oh, what are they going to like? What if I'm the only one in a ball gown? Well, then do a twirl, girl. Do a twirl. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to put yourself in that scenario. And I too, Nicole, love to get dressed up. And so I was with my daughter and her very best friend and her mother because they happen to have the same birthday. It's a long story, but somehow they got the same birthday and they're very best friends. And we were having bachelorette party, and this is the kind of party where you go somewhere on a trip and you have matching outfits, right? And so it was so much fun to do this with the girls because there were like 10 other girls that were my daughter's age. And then here I was, myself and my best friend, we're in our 50s trying to fit in. Literally, it was so much fun. We dressed just like them. We went to all of the places they went and we celebrated with them. And I found myself in a little gold sequins dress. And I think that's just been my favorite outfit ever since because it's shiny, it's sparkly, it's fun, it's me. It's different, right? And so, in fact, I actually put all three of us together in a picture, and I'm wearing that dress. Remember when I did that? We did like an AI thing. So we'll have to post that on our channel so you guys can see it. But there's all three of us are all dressed up and it's super fun. So yeah, for me, I think it's I don't know. I think I'm going to be the one who says neither because I've gotten over the underdress part, right? I wear my yoga clothes and I've also gotten over the overdress. So it's like, maybe that's just not either for me, but thank you, Lonnie. And Teresa, she says, I was at an event last night where a lady was dressed wonderfully. She was the only one wearing a dress hat and she wore it proudly. Well, good for her. I love it. I love it. Martha says underdressed for her answer. And Lonnie, let's see. Be brave, be bold, be beautiful, be you. Of course. Of course. Thank you, Lonnie, for that encouragement. So fun. Well, we're going to just do a couple more of these really quick questions because I think they bring out a lot in us, right? Which is harder to share publicly? Something you're struggling with or something you're really proud of?
Oh.
I love Debbie's reactions.
Because I know you're going to go to me first, and I'm like, both. Oh, to admit that I'm struggling with something, if it's deep enough, right? If it's not something I've already shared and I struggle with this, to really be safe enough to share that is hard.
Mm-hmm.
But I honestly, every time I have to make a post about celebrating me, like I feel it right in my stomach right now. So one of the things that I'm waiting right now to hear, because I was nominated for the Businesswoman of the Year award in Toronto.
Okay.
And I'm waiting to hear, and my stomach all week has been doing this flip-flop because part of me wants to receive it because I can see the benefits of my business and all the people that are working with me. And the other part means I have to shine really brightly. I have to wear that gala event. I have to share that it was meaningful. I have to do a speech. And so I'm not sure which one I'm wishing for. So timely question. And my stomach is reacting to both sides.
Oh my gosh. Okay. First of all, I didn't even know this. So this is very exciting. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to go and like put a million votes in for you. Because really you deserve that so much. But I get that. I get that. I think both have been really challenging. You know, when I first started creating my business, I started to share a lot of the things, the struggles that I had gone through. And that was really hard. Like vulnerability at the beginning was really challenging, like to share like what I had gone through and how hard it was and coming out on the other side. Um, that was really challenging. And but what I did know on that when I did do that is that it was very real. I wasn't pretending my life was like amazing or great. I was telling exactly what was happening with me. And what was interesting from that is that a lot of people reached out to talk that theirs was like that too, that they were going through things. And so I started to learn about the power of vulnerability, right? The power of being able to share our real lives and our real feelings. And then so I've worked on that. I keep working on that. And there's some things I'm not ready to share some of the things, and then some of them that I can, right? And some maybe I never will. Like some of them are maybe just close to my heart and just that's where they're gonna stay. I don't know. But um and I think there's a time and place for all the things too. But the other one where like shining bright, oh my gosh, this one, yeah, it's really, really, it's harder to like, especially when it's, I like, when I'm making a post or whatever, I'm like, please, please, please don't make this about me. Please make it so that somebody else can like get what they need to get from. It's like I think about that all the time. Please don't make it about me. Please just make it about the message, like what it is that I'm trying to say, because yeah, yes, I did not want to be that either, Debbie. Like, I don't want it to be out there that way because I don't think of it that way. I actually don't. I think of it as like, um, you're climbing that mountain, and each time you find one thing that you get over, and so you want other people to be able to climb that mountain too with you and get over the thing too, right? And so I want them to do it with me. Like we're doing it together. And so I never want to be in a place because I don't believe that. I don't believe that I've done way more than anybody or any of those things because it's not true at all. Not even close to true. I just want when we're sharing these things, I think sometimes just like Lori, when you were sharing your yoga moves and what you can do and all of these things, I'm like, what? Look how strong she is. Like, that's amazing. And if she can do that, like, look at the inspiration. Like, wow. Like, so I look at it more from that place of like, what can we do so that we all see hope in our stories? And but yeah, Debbie, I have found that really challenging, and you're one of the most incredible people for edifying people. I know Debbie, like honestly, really, really edifies others, and I would love to continue to edify Debbie because and Lori, both of you, because I think lots of times you just need somebody else to say some of the things for it to feel okay in your heart. So thank you both so much for this conversation because it's an interesting one, especially when you have a business and like your business is about helping people. Then you have to start putting some of these stories out, right? They have to start coming out. It's just the challenge of the growth within it. So good question.
So true. So true. I think I am on the end where it's hard for me to share. It's hard for me to celebrate myself. It's hard for me to share what I'm proud of. I can pretty much be an open book if needed, and I don't have any issues sharing what I've learned through life and mistakes I've made. And but celebrating myself is a little bit hard for me. And so I think I'm right there with you, Debbie and Nicole, on that one. And I that makes me sad because it makes me sad to hear it from someone else, because like you said, we're on the outside and we're looking at Debbie and how awesome she is, and Nicole, how awesome she is. And like for them not to feel like celebrating themselves, it makes me really sad. But then just turn that inwards and say, well, then shouldn't you also be sad for yourself? Shouldn't you also be sad for yourself? And that you don't feel worthy enough, I guess it is, or you feel like it's either not enough or it would be braggadocious. But I know that when I've celebrated something or someone else has celebrated me, and the comments come in and like, congratulations, Lori, oh my gosh, that's amazing, right? Yeah, so thank you, Lonnie. Someone else's words can help you live into your truth. So true. So true. So yeah, that one was a deep one, and I knew it would be. So well, we are getting to the end of our time. I'm always so surprised when I look at the clock and it's like, what? But I would love to just talk about some actionable practices for everyone. I want to make sure everyone knows that there is a reflection guide for today's episode. It will be up on our website, shareddiarypodcast.com. And all you need to do, it's on the homepage, is just scroll down a little bit and sign up to receive those reflection guides every single week. And you'll get it immediately. And it's really, really, really helpful. I've walked through these myself, and it really dives deeper. So if you're the kind of person who likes to reflect and take a conversation and make a change and really, really dive deep into you and then come back and share what you learned, right? I love this tool. I would love, though, too, if you this week just think about catching yourself in the moment between I'd love to and but what will people think? So don't immediately force yourself to do a thing. Just notice the moment. Then ask, if nobody could judge me, what would I choose? So I think that's beautiful. Then we also have some regular questions that we like to ask. And one of these days we'll leave enough time to go around and answer these questions. But these are every single week. If you can ask yourselves these questions, and maybe even every single day, what's bringing you joy right now? What's challenging you right now? What's inspiring you right now? And what's one thing you're grateful for right now? And the bonus for today would be, what's one part of yourself you're giving yourself more permission to show? So I've loved our time today. I would love just to hear from Debbie and Nicole one more time. There is an opportunity called Ignite. I don't know if we're opening that up right now or not, or if we're going to have to put anyone who's interested into the next session. But Debbie, I'm going to turn it to you.
Yeah, well, we started Ignite. It's a 4-week program, and we started this week. And talk about edifying other people. I want to edify these two people in this room, because we've had a lot of conversations on the people that need this, the people that have been asking us, hinting that they needed this. And we have gone deep into who this is and how we can serve and help them. So we actually have started. The cohort is closed. However, you're going to be watching a lot of trainings kind of behind the scenes. It's very personal, and so we're not going to share the people that are in there, but we are going to share some of the breakthroughs, and we're definitely celebrating and creating an evidence bank of things that we know. And so Ignite is for that person that really has felt there was more, felt like they were fearful of being judged, all the things that we've talked about in this whole season. Really, it's for that. And how do you get out of your own way? And sometimes it isn't more pushing through and more willpower, but it's actually resetting your mindset. And it starts with awareness. And Nicole's taken us through a beautiful workbook this week that's all about awareness and some deep questions. And Nicole and I are doing it alongside. Lori's coming in with a beautiful bonus session at the end of the 4 weeks, but Nicole and I, we built this curriculum, and we're living it and growing through it as well. And so this is one of the most biggest blessings about personal development, is you can't be in the middle of this, teaching it and embodying it without shifting your own beliefs and getting out of your own way. I'm super excited for not only what everybody has declared that they're working through, but also declaring and witnessing the shifts that have already happened. And what happens at the end of 4 weeks? What happens at the end of 6 months? What happens at the end of the next year when we recircle back? So yes, this cohort is filled, but we'll definitely be doing this again really soon.
Yeah. And we just to talk about a little bit about the room we were in. It was amazing. The energy within that room was incredible, because we have some amazing things that we want to put out there. And I can feel the energy from each person, the desire, the 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 things that they want to do. And what was beautiful is the support within, with everybody was like, yes, yes, we want to see this happen. And what is incredibly powerful about sessions like this, it's like a seed was planted for all of us. Every one of us had a seed planted when we were in there and started to create this amazing momentum. And I am so excited to see what is going to come from this for everybody that's in there, because I already see, like, in this first week, and because I'm doing it too, and like Debbie said, she's doing it, and Lori's doing it, we're doing this. I can already see how I am shifting in my focus, in my energy, and what I'm really, really excited about. Like, really, I'm getting so much more engaged. And sometimes we just need that time to put into ourselves, that focused time, to really see what we would love, what's holding us back, and then having the support to say, let's go. And so I am thrilled.
Yes, yes. And I'm very, very excited as well, because for me personally, I get to go through the program like Debbie and Nicole are, as well as they both lead it. And I was deeply surprised by what came up for me this week as to what I want to ignite. And I'll share more about that later. But it brought tears to my eyes. And as I shared, there was a lot of emotions in other people, because I was realizing the cost of not doing what I want to do. Right. And that really hit me hard. So, wow. But yes, thank you guys so much for joining us. Pollyanna is doing it too. We're so glad you're a part. And thank you, Deborah, for saying, I'm learning to be more vulnerable. We are so glad you're here and so glad you're part of this conversation. And that just brings so much joy to our hearts when we see comments like this. Thank you, Son of Anna, for tuning in. We love you too. And yes, if you're just tuning in and you missed all this, you need to go back to the very beginning and watch the replay, because it is amazing. It's always amazing. But we're going to end with one final question, and that is, just finish this sentence. If you wrote one sentence at the bottom of today's diary entry, what would it say? Maybe it's, if I wasn't afraid of being judged, I would fill in the blank. We'd love to see your answers in the comments. But Debbie, how about you go first?
If I wasn't afraid of being judged, I would show more of my own personal life.
Well, that was pretty much mine too. But it's, yes, if I wasn't afraid of being judged, yeah, I would allow people to see more of me.
I love it. And mine is similar. I think it's my silly side that I need to show a little bit more. And so maybe we can all work on that together. For sure. But before you go, thank you guys for joining. And we are watching the comments. So if you do decide to comment, we will definitely show it. It was great. Cannot wait to be with my camera on next week. Yay, 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 Pollyanna, for the Ignite. I want to say thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for pouring out your hearts and for being a little bit silly with us this week. If today's conversation resonated with you, we'd love for you to be a part of our community. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And you can also go to our website to find us on Spotify, Apple, anywhere else. But please like and follow and subscribe and leave a review and all the things. We're trying to grow our audience and share this with more people. So do that and share it if you liked this conversation. Share it with someone so they can join us next week. And be sure to remember, put it on your calendar. Had a conversation with Lonnie this week. She said she puts it on her calendar and she tells her husband to go away, and she gets her tea and she comes and shares our diary with us. So thank you guys for always being there with us, and thank you for being part of the conversation. Don't forget, you can download this week's guide on our website and continue the conversation in your own journal. And we are so glad you're here, because it's not just our diary, it's all of our diaries. And life is really better when the diary is open.
And Lori, I want to say one thing before we leave. 1 second. One thing.
Yeah.
I want to say, Deborah said I would love to go live more often, right? I would go live more. So if you do, Deborah, if you do go live, I would love you to tag us or to share it, because so we can celebrate you, because if you do it, we would love to be there just to say yes, because we would love that for you too. So I just had to get that in there.
I love it. I love it. That's what this is all about. It's a community. It's a shared space. It's a shared conversation. And we're here to encourage one another. So thank you, Nicole. And thank you, Debbie. And thank you, Deborah and Pollyanna and everyone else, Cinnavana and Craig and Martha and Gina, all you guys. We really appreciate you commenting and being a part of this because, like I said, life is better when the diary is open. Before we close today's diary, we just want to say thank you. Thank you for spending your time with us, for listening, for reflecting, and for being willing to open your heart along with ours. It truly means more than you know. The shared diary isn't just our story, it's yours too. If today's conversation encouraged you, challenged you, or reminded you that you're not alone, we'd love for you to stay connected. You can find us at shareddiarypodcast.com, where you'll discover episode archives, resources, and ways to connect with our community. If you'd like to reach out to Lori, Debbie, or Nicole, you'll find all of our information there as well. We'd love to hear your story. If you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn, don't forget to like this episode, leave us a comment, and subscribe so you never miss a conversation. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you enjoy podcasts, be sure to follow the show, leave a rating, and share it with someone who might need to hear today's message. Most importantly, keep showing up, keep growing, keep sharing your story, because life is better when the diary is open. We're here for you. You're not alone. We'll see you next time on The Shared Diary.